Welcome to our Just Pause practice. I wanted to use our time today to revisit what I introduced on Wednesday for those of you who were here for Just Breathe, and that is the poem Shakti, Breath by Patricia, I can't remember her last name right now, but Patricia Busby, right? Welcome yourself into this moment. Ground to your sits bones, to your root chakra. And we're going to focus primarily on connecting the root chakra up to the heart chakra, up to the crown chakra, which unites, which is the evolution of Shakti rising or Kundalini rising, Shakti being the energy, Kundalini being the representation of the snake, rising in order to reunite with Shiva into the oneness of the divine union. This energy channel is also reflective of our own introspection health, meaning our well-being. Are we safe? Are we creative? Are we curious? That's a little bit of a stretch from the yogic tradition. When I get to the heart, that's where I think about courage, is that courage is a heart word. So am I being courageous? Am I loving? And then confidence and competence. Again, a little bit of a stretch from the yogic interpretation, and yet right in line with speaking our truth and seeing clearly to come to connection, to open the channel of a clear transition. So with that, let's begin by just pausing and allowing whatever is safe to be with is welcomed into the space with us. Shakti breath. A return to the mat, a place of refuge. My body an altar, an offering to Shakti. Some days I struggle to do the warm-ups. I avoid all the slim bodies on the cover of the yoga books and tapes. The ones that are twisted up like pretzels. Their smile exudes peace and joy. As if they came into this world like clay, moldable, with ease of movement, swan-like grace. I am frustrated by the measuring stick inside my head and their looks that say I must spend lifetimes trying to puzzle out the keys to health and happiness. Why is my karma different? I wear my weight like a neon sign, yet I feel pulled to connect to my breath. That column of eternal light that Shakti rides up and down my spine, seeking her mate at my crown. I can't always touch my own inner beauty or my toes. But if I stay with the breath, my body loosens just enough to go a little further than I did yesterday. The inhale, the awakening, a rising up that channel, the Sushumna channel. And the exhale, a grounding, a returning, a landing. And maybe you can find stop-off points at all of the 7 main chakras, the Maha chakras. Or maybe you just focus on one, or even the root, the heart, and the crown, as I introduced. If you find an area of stuckness, trust that you can work around it and still get yourself back to that sense of connection. Sometimes the working around it is a visualization. Sometimes it's an allowing, a letting go. Sometimes it's a wiggle that helps to literally release stuck, congested tissues around our issues. If that visualization is working for you, remain with it. If you'd like to mirror that visualization with a little energy of the hands, you might like to lift them and lower them. Palms up as they rise. You might even add a heart lift and a gaze, whether eyes are open or closed, and down. Again, that's just a way to embody the energy, the intention of this rise to ground. If you feel yourself erasing, invite a slowing down. If you're not sure, slow down too, right? Test it. So an opportunity now to switch the flow of the visualization, to tap in a little bit more into that root chakra. I call this the Dharma breath, right? But it's that sense of exhaling to contract the pelvic floor as it rises up. So the inhale now is the softening, the spreading, the grounding. Exhale, gather and rise up. Maybe you can feel that rising just in the pelvic floor. Maybe you can't even feel it there. That's okay. Just intentionally focus on that gathering. Maybe it comes up to the second chakra and you get creative or curious about what's happening. Maybe it rises all the way to the heart. Or you can feel it all the way to the throat, third eye, or crown. Inhale, slide back down to soften. Exhale, gather and rise. Whether you're using the visualization or the anatomical embodiment with breath, let it be a reflection of what's working for you to be present, to go further into introspection, to know yourself, to connect with the energy of life itself. So one of the ways that I like to explore this practice is the idea of taking what I need, what support, what security that is offered from my system of grounding, and uniting it with that sense of connection, that community, that oneness of union, and bringing those two energies together into my heart space so that I may live from that heart space to do my life's work. So how this affects the breath then might in fact be a working from above and below. So we soften the throat, soften the pelvic floor, and then activate a lifting up from the pelvic floor, a closing perhaps of the ujjayi throat, a concentrating, kind of a compressing into that heart space. And then softening to inhale. It's a lengthening, it's a grounding, a pushing as we're rising, an apana and a prana. And then we compress Samana Vayu, coming back to that core. Expand, not just up and down, but out, the Vyana Vayu. Compress. Now, if that extra attention, that layering of intention is working for you, stay with it. But the objective is simply to stimulate a deeper sense of connection, to go further into this process. Stay with the focus, the dharana, or soften that focus to open to the dhyana, the ease of fluidity, of Shakti energy rising effortlessly to the Sushumna or around as needed on the Ida and the Pingala. And when you can, let go of all tangible physical efforts and rest in the heart. Start to broaden your attention from your heart. Maybe it climbs to the crown, maybe it roots to the earth, maybe it moves down the arms in preparation for laboring lovingly today. Engaging wholeheartedly in your life's work. The hands come to rest at or on your heart. And set an intention that is aligned with your heart's desire, at least to the extent that you can clarify and connect with today. And trust the process. Let Kundalini, let Shakti energy flow freely. May you breathe deeply, move freely, labor lovingly, and live vibrantly. Namaste. Thank you so much for allowing me to revisit this energy channel and this poem. Any questions, comments, observations?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Thank you very much for this.
You're welcome.
Thank you for what you parted with Wednesday.
Say more.
Focus on the what, not the why. In the moment I dismissed you, but I did not.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.